So people say, and I get tech guys coming in and telling me, boss, this can do this for you, this can do this, we can give you this data, we can give you this information, this. At the end of the day, what do I want? As a CEO of a company, as a doctor, what is the 5 things that I would like to see which will give me a picture of how the company is doing or how the organization is doing? So I need to tell what I want to see. It's not something that the machine will tell you. Eventually it will. In some days it's called supervised learning, but that's separate. So eventually, why do you think performance management systems fail? Is because the CEOs, the leaders sitting there, do not know what they want to see. Ultimately, you have to decide what you want, and that will be the game changer, right? So now we get into the last bit, I think, about AI. So there are different kinds of learning, machine learning. So one is supervised learning. Here, supervised learning is where the question and answer is given to the intelligence or to the machine. So let's say fingerprinting, for example, right? So I put this fingerprint there, and I say this fingerprint belongs to Shenoy. So the machine knows that this fingerprint is there, it belongs to Shenoy, now that is there, and every time I put my finger, it will say it is Shenoy, right? And you can you extrapolate this. Anybody else with a better with another example on supervised learning? There are millions of them. Nobody? Okay, fine. So you got that? That's called supervised learning. There is a question, and then the answer is also provided to the machine or to the algorithm, and it just recognizes it. The second part is called unsupervised learning, right? Now in unsupervised learning, what happens is there is lots of input, but there are no answers. So the machine actually goes and sees the correlation. It sees patterns. So when you are looking at, let's say, Watson, so when IBM created Watson, it just kept on feeding in data, right? Lots of clinical data. We don't even know what's there. At least I am not aware. There may be people here who are aware. But the fact is, it gets lots of data, then it looks for patterns about that, and then says this, in this position, this is what happens, and therefore probably there's a correlation. So I was, this is very interesting. Some of us are probably beyond 35 is old, right? Yeah, people consider 35 as old. So when you reach 50, I don't know what's going to be old. But anyway, so I was interviewing a doctor for a medical director's position a while ago, maybe about 7-8 years ago. And he was an orthopedic surgeon based out of Chennai who had traveled to New York and had done serious work in aging, right? So he got involved with the company and based in New York, and he was involved with how to handle age, right? Very interesting, very lucrative, right? Everybody's interested in handling age and slowing it down and managing it. So I was very intrigued. So he said, we are now collecting different elements of the biochemistry of an individual. So all kinds of minerals and vitamins and this, that, all kinds of levels they had managed to isolate and then populate and then create a pattern around it saying, I'm just saying it on the slide, that if your bismuth levels are come down below this, then probably you will age faster. So if you bring your bismuth and antimony and copper and this and that at this level, your aging will stop or it will become less. And you can imagine, your hair will not fall, it will not go gray, or wrinkles will not form, your potency will remain, you will remain potent, whatever. At the end of the day, this is intriguing, isn't it? So how does it work? It works by the fact that, first of all, you create those data points. That is the biochemistry results that you are looking at. Then you look at norm and say, okay, this boron should be 5 milligram percent. Let's take an example of 5 microgram percent, whatever. And if it falls below 3, then it is correlated, saying that in 10,000 people with gray hair, boron levels were less than 3, and therefore there is a correlation there. So that's what you're talking about. So this is what we were talking about when we say unsupervised learning. This is what is possible from unsupervised learning, right? So there is a lot of potential in this, but please remember one thing, all of it is coming from data, and we will talk about it. Data quality is critical, right? And the last kind of learning is called reinforced learning. In reinforced learning, for example, and I like to play a video at this stage, right? So reinforced learning is when you there is a goal that is defined for the machine or the robo or whatever, and then it is asked to achieve that goal, and it sort of it sort of bumbles its way around, takes corrective measures, eventually achieves the goal, right? So that is called reinforced learning. Three kinds of learning in machines, right? I will show you a small video now, which was very interesting for me about what is reinforced learning. We are talking about robotics, right? And this is what is a Google video. So can you play it, please? No audio. There's no audio. Just stop this for a while. Without audio, does it make sense? Does it make sense? Does it make sense without audio? Yeah, it does. Okay, fine. Go ahead. It's not a. Okay. See that? Okay, stop it. So, in a very basic way, this is what is reinforced learning, right? So it makes mistakes, it learns from it, and I can show you, if you go to YouTube, you see very interesting robots doing all kinds of interesting things. Now, Sir was talking about 5G technology and how robotics can be used in it. Now, a lot of patients feel that robotic surgery is where robo will go and do a surgery, right? That's not true, right? Uh, Robo is just, the arms that are there so that it gives you more precision. But with 5G, when it comes in, we are hoping that a surgeon sitting here and there's a robo mounted, okay, so there's a robo available in a village or in a town, and the patient there anesthetized, and the surgeon is sitting in Delhi. He can actually use 5G technologies and manage that surgery there. That is what we are hoping to see in 5G. I think in the next 5 years, this is going to be possible. I'm not going to say that a robot is going to operate there, but Dr. Senthil Kumar sitting here or sitting in Chennai will be able to operate on a patient in Delhi using 5G technology because he will get it in real time. So he'll manage it from there, but it will be he who will be doing it. So today he's doing the same thing, but he's in the same theater, right? So the patient is there, he's here, and he's sort of managing the show. I'm sure sort of even know it. But is this working here? Okay. That will be solved by 5G. So just imagine the possibilities that are there as we start opening up things, right? Any questions on AI? I'm done with AI. I'm done with AI. Any questions? Any questions? Nothing? So then I'll skip this one. So I thought I would give you an example of how AI being used by, when you go and buy a ticket, there is so much information that comes in, and then it predicts, and then it gives you a price. So, you wonder how Sky Scanner works, or how Make My Trip works. This is how it works. Now it looks simple, right? You wonder, how do they do it? It's just massive amounts of data coming in, then there is historical data, then they look at demand and all that, and they say this is going to be the price of the ticket. That's it, simple. And if the flight gets overbooked, too bad. You are the guy, maybe you are the one who's going to be thrown off the aircraft. But then that's not Sky Scanner's problem, right?